for myself, because I'm not. Well, I'm not. I'm pretty sure that you guys know what imposter syndrome is. So I feel that imposter syndrome lurking around the studio, and it's really pressuring. It's really pressuring. So let's just use this imposter syndrome to maybe suppress my ego, and that might actually help with creativity. So let's do that. Let's have fun with it. So I'm going to work abstractly, and I'm going to use acrylics, maybe, I don't know. I have a water already here. I'm definitely I'm for 100%, for 100%. I'm sure I'm not going to use oil, and I have a bunch of materials laying around. I also have a, what's the proper name for that? I think it's a pupil. So since I have my studio, someone saw my work, and they wanted to be part of the experience, and they wanted to get as much information as they possibly can. So I also have a pupil. So I probably right now, well, I'm officially a master in my own studio, which sounds crazy, but it sounds like that's what it is. So we experimented with a lot of stuff. I jumped into watercolors and acrylics and gouache and all other materials, because that's something that they're interested in, and it requires a specific. Well, let me put it this way: if you work with watercolors, you can make it look like it's like you can use the oil painting logic into watercolors, but then you kind of defeating the purpose of watercolors because they behave a certain way. And same goes for gouache, same goes for tempera, same goes for acrylics. So even though I'm still applying a logic of painting in general, I want to just have fun with the medium. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just traveling or riding a train, and it's interesting to just paint in the train quickly with watercolors, and I have like a little small watercolor paper like this big. I have parts here maybe like this big, right? Maybe a little bigger, and just do a little quick like a watercolor, just the sketches and ideas and so on and so forth. So that's something that I'm doing a lot. So it's like experimenting, exploring, doodling, fine-tuning. So let's see what I can do today with the limited amount of time and some pigments. So again, super cheap setup. I have just a whatever board, and this is water resistant, so it's going to work with acrylics. It's going to work with oils. It's going to actually work with everything, even with watercolors. So it's kind of a great it's a foam board. I think it's like a hardened foam board, something like that. So I'm going to throw some pigments there and see what's up. And I'm using some of these pigments are that I purchased and in like a actual store, but some of these are really just a cheap acrylics that you can get in your local in your local, I don't even know what this yellow is. Let's try this one yellow. Local grocery store. So these ones are like the kids set from, believe it or not, famous, I don't want to name it, a famous a store with furniture. And I'm probably going to throw some black here as well for good measure, and maybe a bit of blue. Let's try this one. Seems like fun. Okay, and since the theme since the theme from for my doctorate, one of the themes it's heroes, anti-heroes, national heroes, so on and so forth. I want to dive into that kind of a topic. So this is going to be interesting for me, for sure. So let me just grab some of my brushes, and I will highly recommend you not to use your oil brushes for acrylics and vice versa. It's not really a good practice. So yeah, you probably shouldn't use these, but I'm not prepared for the acrylics today. So I guess I'm gonna use some old oil brushes that I have here. Okay. And I did a couple sketches of what I want to work on, and I am, heavily influenced by, as you all know, by Rembrandt, by his work, and also by Andrew Wyeth, and I want to explore a little bit of that. Hey, it's good to see you, man. Finger painting time. Yeah, it's gonna be a finger painting for sure. Let's see what's gonna happen. So I have a couple sketches in my mind with me here, and a couple of ideas, and I'm just gonna work with the shape, and I'm gonna try to find some shape that might be interesting to look at, to work with. And this is really, as I mentioned, this is a bed painting Friday, so I really I don't even know how to approach this. So we just have a little bit of fun. And I hope that you guys are gonna paint alongside, because otherwise this has literally zero entertainment value. I'm pretty sure. How do I know that? I tried to edit some of my videos, and then I decided that that's pretty bad to listening to myself. So I mixed some kind of a neutral grayish pigment just to have fun, just to throw pigment around. And I have to keep reminding myself that this is acrylic, so it's going to dry pretty fast. And this canvas looks pretty bad, so it's going to be fun. I have my chill mode set. Tea is ready. Let's go. I'm going to shut up and paint a bit. What if and since I'm influenced by Andrew Wyeth, I'm thinking about that kind of a painting, or those kind of shapes that he uses a lot, off balance, kind of weird compositions. The weird composition that shouldn't work, but somehow they work. Let me go also grab my, where did I put my, I sketched a little bit in a train. So I want to see how that works. Okay. So this is like a small sketchbook that I use in a train or while traveling. So thinking about like about couple shapes and the movement. And this is probably the most annoying part to watch, because I can't really explain what I'm doing. I'm just moving around with the pigment, and I have multiple ideas in my head, but I don't want to say what it's supposed to be, because that kind of puts a kind of a I want it to move abstractly. I want to have fun with abstract shapes, and I'm looking for something that it's going to help me to create some interesting movement on the canvas without actually committing to anything specific. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to keep it like I want that design to work before anything else. And I was working on something similar similar composition, slightly different idea, but similar composition. Maybe this could go all the way here. And I promise you there is a something there that I have in mind. I hope that my head is not in the way of a camera. And remember that what you see, it's under a slight angle, so it's going to look way weird, distorted. Okay, I'm thinking that this is a little too much. I'm trying to see like how this shape would work. Because this is where I'm stuck with my sketches, actually. I see that there is something here, and I can't really quite make it work. So let's maybe, and that cardboard, you know what? It's not that bad actually. I painted on way worse surfaces. And I'm reaching into my white only because I want to correct the shape a little bit. I think this could be this way. So, and the reason why I'm doing this way, it's because of acrylic. So I'm trying to use the medium to my advantage. I know it's going to dry pretty fast. So I can just move, instead of like with oils, moving paint around, I'm just, you know, adding paint with no, like I don't feel threatened by acrylic. It's just I'm having fun with it. And I can always, let's say that, you know, I can just, you know, add a little bit of, oof, that's a lot of yellow. Just clean it up. I can add like a little bit of pigment into it and see what's going to happen. Maybe a little bit of the orange into it, and maybe a little bit of a black. And I'm using limited palette. I like limited palette. And I can just start playing with it. And it's not like oil that I would just, oh my God, there's like mixing, over mixing. I don't really care that much. Well, actually, I don't care at all. There's a loose tea all over the surface of a the teacup. And like I said, I'm trying to push my ego, like suppress it as much as I can right now of, oh, I know how to draw certain things. I know how to paint certain things because it's not about that. I'm looking for an abstract shape, and that abstract shape, and to be specific right now, or to be specific, to get a little bit more, let me rephrase that. Let me start over. I don't think that there is a way to teach how to compose stuff. That's why I always have a hard time to explain that. Nobody taught me how to compose. I don't think it's possible. In terms of, okay, we have some rules, we have some ideas, we have some, you know, and when I say rules, I mean we have some guidelines that are proven that they're working. So that's how I would put it. Yeah, this might be okay. But there is no actual perfection when it comes to composition. And I was, since that doctorate idea, you have to write a lot. So I was writing a lot. And one of the things that I wrote down was that I guess that, and I don't know if it was some kind of a like a philosophical thought that I kind of heard somewhere, or I have heard someone to talk about it through podcast or via podcast, or I was listening some lectures online or whatever, or maybe even in school, I don't know, is that we're looking for a guideline that would give us a like exact formula how to compose, and then what would be the next step? Like, we have a formula how to compose the beautiful painting, and now what? Are we going to do one final painting and that's it? We can just throw away painting? I mean, it sounds ridiculous to even think that way, but it's kind of feel like it. So I just wanted to show you today in Bed Painting Friday, what do I do behind the scenes when when nobody's looking. So that's why I said that, and I'm always this is going to be the name of the game, that I don't think that this has any entertainment value whatsoever. How they connected? Maybe here, maybe something would be here. This needs to go this way. Maybe a dark value here. A little bit of here. My chair is squeaking, it's annoying. Should probably take a different one. Maybe if I push it here, let's see. let's have fun. Maybe. I think this is way strong of a color, but that's okay. I'm thinking about the value right now more than about the color, or actually shape. So when I'm squinting, I'm looking at shape only. And this is the shape that I'm looking at. So it's just a, well, let me make it a little bit more visible. So this is the shape that I'm looking at right now. And I'm trying to think of this shape as something, like, is there something here that I can work with? And probably not. But what if? And these are the important questions when, for me, I'm not saying that these are important questions when you compose. These are important questions for me when I'm composing. And that's kind of my understanding of what visual language is, or conversation right now. And I'm starting to ask myself that, what would I put here? Like, what this shape represents? Is it going to be a shape where I don't know, building is going to be? Is it the shape where the forest going to be? Is it the shape where sky is going to be? Is this the shape where, I don't know, whatever, fill the blank? And how is this shape influencing everything else on the canvas? And when I say everything else on the canvas, because this looks very much like like a finger painting. I really like that comment there, because it is kind of a finger painting. And I'm also trying to think of this as like trying to rotate that in my head. And I'm going to bring my trusted mirror to see it upside down and left and right. Because that will help me to think of this as an abstract shape. What I'm seeing right now, when I'm thinking out loud, actually, is that when I take the light shape, this light shape, this light shape, this light shape, and this light shape, let's think of that as a blank canvas, and I combine them together, count them. No, I put them together, or cut them out and put them together and keep this shape together. It's approximately half and half. So I have active space that's half, and negative space that's kind of just sitting there. And if it's a half and half, 50-50 percentage wise, it feels boring. So that's one of the things that in this stage, in this kind of a finger painting, what I'm thinking about. And how can I improve that shape so it doesn't look that bad? Or not necessarily that bad, so it doesn't look split in half, active or positive versus negative shape. And the reason why this is happening, according to, I can say science, but probably it's a science, our brain prefers to do this because it's easier for our brain to comprehend the image. So it's just 50% of this and 50% of that. So let's keep it that way, because you don't need to count, or you don't need to account for that, you know, the slight or the small changes. Basically, what I'm trying to say, that my brain is boring, and I'm trying to do everything that it's in my power to make it less boring in my head. And then ultimately less boring on the canvas as well. So maybe I could bring more of that right here. A little bit of this, a little bit of. These are really strong pigments. So let's maybe make this active, the whole thing, and right now what it is. And I have I like a small book, kind of a pocket book of Turner, and you can see it right here. I don't know if this is a, let me see, yeah. Look how simple this is. I should probably hold it this way. Look how simple this is, and how playful and abstract these pictures are, or this image particularly. And I found that because I was working with that little bit of watercolors, how Turner, like how much he plays with what he sees, and how I wasn't aware how impactful these paintings are on my thoughts, I guess. Well, for some reason they talk to me in a way that I'm not really a seascape guy. But these ones are so beautiful. It almost, I want to go outside and paint outside because of Turner, I have to say. Turner and Wyatt. These two guys convinced me to get out, and I found out that bringing oil paints and, you know, all that kind of a like studio outside simply doesn't work for me. That I cannot convince myself to go out with all the, you know, all the studio. It wasn't it. And then for some reason I took gouache outside, and I instantly fall in love with that, because it's quick. You close it and that's it, and you go. I would never be able to do it with oils, right? So I understand not only theoretically, as I mentioned multiple times, how, well, I understand it by testing it and trying it rather than just understanding the words. And I mentioned this multiple times previously, that all the questions are theoretical in my head, but then answers are in practice. So let me let me be inspired by this a bit. Let me see what I can, you know, like even this back cover, the back part, it has already so much in it. So pretty. And there's so much to explore when I'm looking at that. When I'm looking at that painting, beautiful. So let's put some of that information there. I really have to say that I consider Turner one of the best. I think that he's in my top 5 for sure. Well, I have Rembrandt there, obviously, Andrew Wyatt, obviously, and then Turner, obviously, right now. So I think that I love that simplicity of thought that he communicates. Same goes for Andrew Wyatt. I think Rembrandt is a little too, I don't want to say advanced, a little more complicated than well, visually complicated. No, what's the word that I'm looking for? How would I describe it? Because of how much is happening in Rembrandt's paintings, I think that it's almost like, unless you're really into painting, I don't think that you can enjoy Rembrandt as much as Andrew Wyatt or Turner in that kind of a vocational way. I don't even know how to say that. I could adjust this shape right here. Maybe push it here. And I love the way how Turner mixes his pigments. I mean, it's so much information there. But it's kind of a hidden, or maybe subconsciously you understand what's happening, and it's really it seems like it's simple, that it's that finger painting, but it requires a lot of information to I guess the word would be translate. And make it so simple to just digest. And Rembrandt requires way more, Rembrandt requires a lot of my brain and a lot of my attention. So make this maybe a little darker, so I'm pushing the value a little bit more. And since this is already dry, it's very easy to shift certain things. This squeaking chair, it's making me kind of annoying. It has a, I have it here like on my, so you can, I don't know if you can see it, but it's on my, let me, I'm sorry, I was not paying attention to a computer, to a chat. Weather report. I'm sorry, I was not paying attention to chat. I was just, you know, talking to a void. So I'm sorry for that, but good to see you here. Let me just get back. Because my computer is, you know, behind me, and I'm just painting, having fun, and talking into the void. But if there's any question that I can answer, feel free to ask. That's, you know, that's what this is about. And don't forget to paint alongside, because that's what makes it fun. Okay, maybe I could push a little bit of this. Maybe I could take a bigger brush and just throw a little bit more pigment around. All right. Let's get even more abstract. I mean, neutralize the color a little bit. So let me create kind of a feeling of like there is a heavier pushing down. So this could actually be a little darker, and the shape could push down. So, and then I feel that I have it like on the specific angle here. And you can see that my brush is loaded with all kinds of colors, all kinds of, you know, pigments. And I kind of liked what happened here in this area. It was like unintentional, but it gave me a little bit of something to work with. So that's why I like to do these random paintings. Maybe I can throw a little lighter here, maybe even here, just to break that, you know, destroy that little bit of a the blankness of the canvas. Cool. Maybe you could go a little bit more warmer and lighter in some areas. Wow, I didn't even know that this white is so, the white pigment is so weak, can barely. And the reason why I want to go warmer, because I want to create a little bit more of a separation. Ooh, I like this. From foreground and background. And it's starting to build up a little bit of a texture as well. Maybe I could put like a little bit of something here. And there's water dropping down, that's okay. I'm kind of unifying it together. Let me see, let me open this. What could be a good could be a good example that I could point out to you. I have none in this particular book, or I can't find it actually. Some that it would be like obvious, jump right into my attention. Oh wow, okay, well, maybe this one. And this is one of Turner's watercolors, and it's called The Devil's Bridge of Saint Gotthard. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing it properly. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if this is it's a book, so I should probably, so this is the one, but you can Google it and check it out on your own. I think, honestly, that this is a good representation of a lot of abstract things that are happening there. And this is a good representation of how he thinks, how he moves with his thought. And that's something that I'm working on right now as well. It's not this kind of a composition that he has, but those are these kind of a random marks that I'm putting out there. And it's something that I have a first-time chatter. Hey, quick sketch artist. Did you go to an atelier to study? Actually, I finished the Imperial Academy in St. Petersburg, also known as a Repin Academy, in classical painting, with focus on figure painting. And my specification, no, my specialization, that's probably the proper word, would be in multiple figure composition and allegories, and it's probably, and this is my opinion personally, it's probably the toughest school to study at today, because they are strictly classically trained, and they're keeping that tradition for, it's 300 something years, I think. I'm pretty sure that it's over 300 years. I have multiple videos and live streams from the academy, because I finished last year. I was forced to take a break for, it was difficult because of the situation in between Europe and Russian Federation. It's kind of difficult to be there for me right now. So I took a break, a couple of years, and then I went back last year, and I finished my diploma. So that's that. And before that, I studied in Los Angeles in multiple schools, multiple academies. Also figure painting and figure drawing. So yeah, that's my 15 years of a classical training just to finger paint right now. On the piece of cardboard. Anyway, it's just a sketch. It's having fun, as I pointed out. It's for I'm doing this for a specific reason, to kind of free, or actually test some ideas that are strictly in my head, and they're not formed into visual imagery that would make sense to viewers. That would be probably the easiest way for me to answer this. And right now I want to create, again, some kind of interesting shape, but something that will gonna give me, I don't know, something to work with. And I'm not copying anything specific. I'm just searching for some random shapes. And I'm not necessarily, bound to anything. And since these are acrylics, it's not the medium that I use all the time. I'm starting to understand the potential of this for me and for work that I do, because I can quickly repaint things, and I can layer pigments, and I can just have fun with what's happening, without worrying of, like, how is it going to dry, how is this going to look after multiple layers, because most of my work it's in oil. And this is like me getting back to having fun with painting. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just I'm not sure if I can control a pigment very well, because I'm not familiar with most of these paints. Like I said, these are super cheap, grocery store grade of pigments, because they're from grocery store. Some of them. Okay, so I have something here. It's starting to move this way, and then I have this kind of a connection here. So maybe I could push this a little bit this way, just to create a little bit more of an opening. This shape. because I wanted to rotate it a little bit. And a lot of these things are happening in my head, and they probably don't make sense at this point. And truth to be told, when you do and when you work on your own, you should consider to try that. It might not be, it's that ego that I really struggle with all the time, that it's pushing me that, oh, this should be this, and it should be that, and it should look this way. And it's really, really, what would be the word that I'm looking for? It's really, like I don't feel connection, the creative connection, because of all the rules and all the ideas. This blue is really bothering me, but as long as I'm squinting, I'm kind of okay with it. So let me just maybe change that. And it's probably because I'm trying to immediately harmonize the colors as well, and this blue right now just doesn't exist anywhere. But see, immediately I just, I put a little bit of there, and right now I completely changed the shape. It almost feels like it kind of got boring immediately. So that blue, what this shows me is that blue worked there as a color, not as a shape. So that's something for me, like a mental note. And I'm saying a color, maybe I should say like a saturation, something saturated and light here. So perhaps making this lighter up there, it might help. Because I want to keep it a little bit more, a little bit more and that orange as well was working there kind of. So let me just put it there. Let me see what's going to happen. Like who's going to stop me? What do I have to lose? Okay, maybe I would, this could be maybe a little. So I'm thinking maybe I could do the whole top part darker instead of making it lighter. And then it could kind of, see, let's try that. Let's see what's going to happen with that. So I'm just going to mix a bigger batch. And again, since this is a, let me just close this because I'm worried that I'm going to spill the water on top of that. Like, since this is sketching, I'm not really that worried to change completely what's happening here, only because I want to see something. I can always, bring it back if I so choose. And right now it looks a little too busy, so I'm just going to try to kind of smooth it out so it doesn't involve. And I kind of, and this is what I did here, is that I pushed it and I made it even. And right now it looks weird. It looks like it's again, my brain kind of pushed it to make it half and half. So I have to change that a little bit. And when when you work on these things, this is what's going to happen. And I remember a long time ago that this would be so discouraging. This would be like, what is going on here? Like, this is really bad. It's a bad painting Friday. I have to remind myself it's bad painting Friday. So I'm not looking for something finished. I'm looking for all the possibilities, and I want to make sure that I tested it, I tried it, it didn't work, that's okay. Or it's not working. And I'm looking at this as a puzzle that I have to solve. And the problem is that I'm creating a puzzle for myself. It's like, I don't know, it's like playing a chess against yourself. possible to win. And I have that feeling that, oh, let me just put more detail there and let me maybe move this and move that. No. Okay, let me just adjust the shapes. So I'm going to work on the shapes a little bit. So I want this to go this direction. So let me put it down so I see where the end is. Cool. That means that I could maybe make this all lighter here as a shape. Maybe warmer. Maybe light and warm. And I forgot that I need a little bit of this right here, and then it goes up, down, and here. Maybe a little bit more this way. Maybe I could counterbalance it. Here. So this could go. Okay, let's bring a little bit more of a... This is something that I'm not used to, that a glossiness of a pigment is created by that water, and as it dries out, it kind of dulls itself. So let me punch it a little bit. And what I'm doing right now, it's like in this one shape, it's like a half and half, I'm trying to find something, like this is all, when I'm squinting, this is all one value, but I'm looking for like a switches and changes in pigment. And it's starting to kind of vibrate. That's something that's going to help me to make that monotone one surface way more interesting. This is what when you observe, I mentioned Turner and Andrew Wyeth, when you observe their work, that's a lot of these ideas there brought to life. Maybe I could push this all the way here. That might be a little too much, so let me just knock it back. And maybe it should be slightly lighter here. And maybe I could continue this here, and then it shows up here as well. So I'm kind of connecting it from one side to another. Just really having fun. And these are not even the colors that I would usually use. But since I'm repeating this, and I'm going to repeat this over and over again, since this is a Bad Painting Friday, I don't want to be into that same kind of a my old habit of, you know, reaching for the same pigments. I want something new, something different, and I have to experiment a little bit. And with that experimentation, I am forcing myself willingly into these kind of I'm pushing myself into territory that I maybe wasn't, well, not maybe, I'm in a territory I was not before. So maybe this could be a little lighter right here, maybe, I don't know. Maybe instead of making dark against light, I make light against dark. So it's going to be a here and here. And just quickly create something different. And just look at it and see how it works, whether or not it's what I'm looking for. And maybe this could go like a completely dark, like maybe this could go darker. Maybe there can be a darker area right here. It's all just random shapes. And I'm looking for something cool. But since I'm not, maybe push it here and this way here. So I'll create some kind of a separation there. Maybe I could throw some more light here. See my brushes. And I know that it looks like a child's painting. That's okay. It reminds me right now, I'm looking at that and it reminds me like an illustration of it's a short story by Exupéry. What's the Little Prince? I just can't get the translation out of my head, out of my mouth. I know it's like about, I think it's a Little Prince. I think it's a Little Prince. Let me slow down a little bit and just, okay, all right, that's okay. I think that we can work with that. So I stumbled upon this idea. So let's work with it. So it could be a starry night. Maybe I'll push it this way. I think it needs to be bigger. I think this shape needs to be bigger. Maybe push it a little bit more this way. Let me test it. Let me try it. And that maybe even more. Okay. Push it there, and then we could balance it with something that's going to be here, and maybe that's going to be that light area right here. And it's just the abstract, so I'm pushing the diagonal there, and then I could balance it here with something on this side right here. Okay, and as I move away into distance, maybe I could make this a little closer to each other and a little bit more precise. I'm playing with the shape right now. I'm trying to find the pleasing shape. So this would be more this way then. Okay. Because I already, since I mentioned that Exupéry, I think it's a Little Prince. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, or you know. So I'm pushing this right here. Maybe it could go, okay, maybe it could go under the, because right now I'm copying too much this. Okay. And I have to point out that this is awesome when it comes to sketching. And this is the whole point of Bed Painting Friday, is just going with this, like, almost like with the naivete of a child into that a painting. It really throws some crazy colors there, because I know that I can slowly, I see letter F right here, so it's kind of a FU painting, kind of telling me, my painting is telling me that this is not really the best thing, but and this is important, but I'm man with long hair and no mustache. Hey to you too as well, with long hair. This is actually my shorter part of the hair. Actually, this is a short hair. For me, for those of you who watch stream regularly, I was absent for a half year because of other other commissions that I was working on, but this is my short hair. I used to have a way longer hair, but then it's something that I do. Well, actually, with my whole family, we donate hair for kids with leukemia, or with cancer, actually. So you have to have like a certain length, and then they cut it, and then you can, it's something like a donating blood. So, and I don't have a mustache because I don't have a beard. I have the kind of a, I don't even have a stubble. It's a little bit here, a little bit there. It's kind of a funky. I'm kind of a funky looking. Let me move a little bit. And I have to just, go back and forth. Yeah, I get what you mean. How's your day? My day's awesome. This is a Bed Painting Friday exploration, so I'm just having fun. How about your day? Lately, my days are calm and kind of cool, I have to say, in terms of just not being pressured by anything. That's why I'm back with Bed Painting Friday, and just chilling and having fun. And you should join us and paint alongside, because that's the only way how to enjoy this, actually. My day is great, summer routine day. I work, sleep, and nothing else. I actually this is something that kind of I don't know what it is, but lately for some reason, maybe it's because of I'm getting older, I felt urge, like inner urge to start waking up early morning, like at 5 a.m. And I'm in the phase right now that I am kind of, for first time, or like it has been a couple weeks that I break my routine, because I used to get to the atelier, to the studio at 8 a.m. and start working from 8. Right now I decided that I have to get more work done, so I have to get earlier, and I'm in the point right now that I am excited to wake up to be first on the street. It's kind of a weird feeling, and it's weather it's shifting right now in my city, and that it's the morning. It's always a surprise what kind of color is going to be outside, what kind of temperature, if it's going to rain, whether I don't even know how to say that. I'm kind of, is it going to rain? Is it going to be snow maybe? Is it freezing outside? It's great. So that's what's up with my early mornings these days. It's really fun. It's really fun for me. And I think it's a your talent, really. How do I learn to painting? Did you learn by yourself? I did not learn by myself. I have a lot of year of a classical training in painting and in drawing. I mentioned it earlier. It's from different academies. I studied in Los Angeles and also in St. Petersburg at the Imperial Academy of Arts. So it's a long process, and that's something that I discuss a lot with during the streams and with students that they come in the studio. That it's you have to be ready for a couple of years to get to a certain level that you feel comfortable to just do paintings like this in the Bad Painting Friday, because they're going to translate that to some other paintings, and I hope I'll be able to stream a little bit more again. And if you want to check out YouTube, there is a lot of videos dedicated to what I do a little bit more, because this is only for fun. This is for me. It's a Friday evening. It's a time to have fun a little bit after all the work. But it's interesting, amazing. I mean, the important thing that you are feeling happy with what you do. I'm very happy lately with what I do. I don't really have any pressure. Because at a certain point, I don't know what happened, but at a certain point, that ego, that forcing you to prove to other people that you know how to draw, kind of disappeared, and then you just start having fun, and I'm there, and I would love to share that feeling. So just. Ideally, you joined us and start painting, or join me actually. I don't know how many, maybe 2 or 3 people might be here watching right now, but that's not important. The important part is that that you are here, and then you can enjoy painting session. And it's just a really kind of a silly painting, but I'm gonna make it work. And it's a silly painting because it's just a cardboard. Like, it's a great feeling to just paint on the cardboard. You spend time and money to to succeed like that. That's right. That's a cool thing. Tell me what your dream for future. Um, you know what is my dream for future? Um, I'm kind of living my dream, so I can't. I don't know. I don't know. It's there is so much. This is even even my hands are shaking right now because I feel stupid to say that, but I am I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely happy, and I don't really. Um, I just want to create and continue creating and sharing that kind of a um, that what would be the right? You kind of caught me off guard. Um, of course, there are a lot of like sad things and difficult things that they're all around, but being in the studio and paint, I think it is the dream. It's the coolest thing that could happen to me. Unexpectedly, because I was not thinking about being a painter. So, what about your dream? What is your dream? Maybe that kind of a weird brushstroke there. It's going to help. And what if I connect this way? Let's try that immediately. That was a quick thought, so I'm just going to press it there. Like if I connect it here and it goes this way, compositionally. Let me move and look at it from a distance, how it works. I will pray to my God to make your dream as real, because make people happy with your painting and draws. You're really nice, and the world deserves. Oh man, you're so nice. My dream is to be a great football player. It's my dream for future. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I see. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know where you from. In my country, football is very popular. Did I write it? Did I read it correctly? Yes, football. You mean in English? You mean soccer, right? Or you mean American football, or like rugby? Because there's a European or English or UK English version of a football, and there's a US version for football. So you have to be more specific. But both are great. I've never played American football, even though I used to live in Los Angeles, but it's never been something that I haven't had a chance to experience that. Maybe in the future. Maybe you could, when you get really famous and really great soccer player, football player. I live in Algeria in North Africa, so all people here play football. Yeah, you're right, football, not rugby. Rugby is an American football. I've seen it on TV before. Yeah, so you're a correct football player. Okay, nice, awesome. That's cool. That's very cool. I wish I was a little bit more athletic, but it would be way too bad for. I mean, this is really boring to watch. Can you imagine me playing a football? That would be not only boring, but it would be embarrassing. You would get the second-hand embarrassment from watching me play any sports. It's just I'm not a really coordination. It's, I don't want to say non-existent, but kind of a out there. My English is not good yet. I can only speak French. I wish you can understand me. Also, my name is Zifo, and I'm 30 years old. Oh man, it's all good. English is not my first language either. Actually, I'm not. I'm totally okay. I mean, we can. Speaking about the English, I communicate. I actually started to paint and draw because when I moved to United States, I couldn't say a word, and I didn't move there. I went there to study English specifically, and I found myself absolutely locked in the cage in my head, and I couldn't say I couldn't say anything in English, literally nothing. And I found out that as a football, it's a way of communicate. The players communicate between each other without the words. A painting is a similar thing to me, that I communicate with world and with people around through images, because I found them universal and everybody understands, or representational art. So it's all good, man. There's literally zero issues that I have with non-English speakers. I wish I could speak French, actually, truth to be told. It's a beautiful language. I think I'm... Okay, let me just move this ahead because it's kind of feeling slow. Maybe I could throw some pinkish pigment right here and move it. Okay, I have a kind of a shape. Maybe this could go, maybe I could push this a little higher here and create. And the other thing is, when I'm doing these sketches, I'm really exploring, but then I will move to a larger, whenever I like it, I'll move to a larger, maybe in the oil, and we can start working on something. Maybe this should go a little bit more here, and I should add a little bit more space on this side, so maybe balance it that way. I don't know yet, but that's that exploration that it's so important. And having fun with the painting. It would be cool if I put a little lighter value here, so I see the shape a little better. And it's not, again, I'm looking for a shape. I'm not looking for a specific thing. I get what you mean. Did you watch tennis? It's more boring. 2 hours. Yeah, you're right. Back and forth, back and forth. Can you sing a song or play guitar? I can't sing. I can't play any instrument. I can play a little bit of a piano, but I am a big fan of music, but I can't really play an instrument. And it's probably because I feel that it would be very difficult for me to accept that I can't play as good as I can handle a paint, for example. So it immediately puts me into the kind of a depressed state of that where I can't really force myself, where I can't really bring myself to study a little bit more of that. And then also I prioritized painting, so I enjoy painting, so I feel like that's where my calling is, so my kind of like a creative calling is, so I don't really I use a lot of, I like to listen to music, don't get me wrong, that's just I think that's given. I don't think that there is anybody who, well, maybe there are people that don't like music, but generally speaking, I think people like to listen to music. Do you sing? Or play an instrument? So I have a lot of green and bluish. Maybe I could knock this blue back a little bit. Let me grab the other. Grab another brush, the larger one. Thinking maybe I could, yeah, maybe I could take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, I like the kind of a purplish pigment right here, right now. I feel like I want to connect these together a little bit more, because maybe I could then just separate them with shift in the value, so it's not going to be so overpowering, and maybe I can move it a little bit more here. That's something that I saw like with beautiful landscape paintings. This is not going to be necessarily a landscape painting, but I can use that kind of an idea there, since we're working with that Little Prince by Exupéry feeling to it. So maybe I could even push it here, and then maybe I could make it shift a little bit here to make it a little closer as well. And then, because I see that these kind of a quick brush strokes are just right now they work as a distraction, and the visual pollution rather, and I want to harmonize it a little bit. And this seems like it's maybe a little too disconnected as well. So let me push that. I keep forgetting that this is a I should bring a little bit more of that. Darker value, yep, that's the one. And then maybe it could be, maybe this could go, maybe this could go further this way. Oh yeah, I think that's what, because I'm gonna have this one right here, this one there, and there. Okay, so it's kind of radiating. This is going to be against the grid, so maybe even push it even further a little bit more. That might be a little too much. But definitely Little Prince vibe. It's a long time ago I read that book. It's interesting because I don't think I heard about it when I was little, but I read it as I don't know, like in my 20s. And I know, for some reason, I felt like that book was not for it was kind of like an existential exercise for me. So softening it up here, and maybe I could bring it. The sky is way too blue to my taste, so let's knock it even more back with some desaturated color. So it's almost like that kind of a, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I have that morning experience that I was talking about, that, you know, waking up early morning. So I'm kind of, I have that color in my head, and I can't, and I'm struggling to put it down with the pigment. And it's because I've I don't remember when was the last time I saw it so clear. So I'm just trying really to do my best to create it from my memory. And the reason why I'm trying to create it from my memory is just not, I don't want to commit to pictures, or photographs, I mean. But I guess what I have to do, I have to, you know, again, wake up early morning, go out, do couple sketches, see how it works there, and try to remember that feeling of that morning. But I'm very, I know that I'm not far away from that, but these beautiful kind of greens here, breaking that illusion, so they're way too warm. But I could use them to my advantage and maybe create kind of a, okay, all right, another, just a random idea. what if I just move it here this way and bring it? So it's kind of a travels from behind to the front. That might actually work. Let's see. Lighting it up a little bit, warming it up a little bit. Oh yeah. Good call. It's starting to look a little bit more like a ground that I saw in the morning. And what if what if I shorten this? This looks a little too much. But then if it's morning that and the sun is somewhere there, the shadow would be really strong. Maybe it wouldn't be as strong here. Maybe I could put this one into, maybe there is a better shape waiting for me here. I think that that could be a better shape here. And maybe not even going this way, but pushing it this way to make it a little less pronounced. And maybe like so. And you can see there is a combination of thought right now in my head. I'm going back and forth between shape and color temperature, because I'm starting to, I don't want to say feel, but there is probably not a better example to that. I'm feeling that the imperfection of a ground, and I'm squinting, and I know it looks stupid on the screen, but that's what's helping me to understand the shape again. And I'm moving back and forth. Maybe I should push this a little bit more here. This seems a little too big. So let me maybe throw some of this there. A little bit of that. A red orange. And make like maybe this a little sharper here, so I have some kind of a point of reference where the line ends. And then it maybe could go a little higher up here. Yeah. And then I need to push it a little bit more here. Okay, cool. I still don't have that desirable graphic shape. That I'm looking for. Maybe this could go a little bit more. A little bit more here. But it should be darker. That might have been a little too much. But it's okay because I needed to see it before correcting it, so I can right now go with I should probably clean my brush first. So I'm going to push this. Right now to correct it a little bit. So it's going this way. And then there's a slightly bigger opening here. Yeah, I think that was a, okay, I should correct this one. I'm looking for the kind of a specific shape. Okay, a little better. Maybe I could throw a little bit of that color here as well. Just maybe it's just catching some kind of a reflection. I'm pretty sure that would never be that way, but since this is clearly an abstract idea, why not to play with that a little bit? So I connected things together and I'm disconnecting them right now and I'm trying to connect them again and I'm looking for some kind of an interesting shape, one way or another. And when I say one way or another, I mean whether it's going to be through kind of that temperature shift or through the color shift. I'm sorry, through the temperature shift or maybe a slightly different value. And what if this just goes this way? So it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. So I played a little bit with color temperature, and right now I'm playing a little bit more with the shape. So let me correct the shape a little bit. And then I will have to go because it's getting late here. But I'm going to continue maybe tomorrow on this. I'm starting to enjoy the shape. I don't know where to go with it yet fully, but I would like to continue on the sketch. And that's probably something to think about with these kind of random sketches that they make no sense whatsoever. And as we talked and as we described certain things, and I was kind of in the, I don't want to say in the, I wasn't painting, I was just moving things around and discussing and kind of thinking with the paint. So I'm getting somewhere. I know that it's going to be, maybe I could push it a little bit more here to get it that kind of a nice shape. Maybe I could just cut it in a little bit so it is slightly different than this. And then make it maybe a little thinner here. So we're just pointing that direction. So I have the diagonal going on there. I have this one right here. Maybe I could push this a little bit to make it a little bit more clear that that's what's happening. Yep. So that's there. Okay, and I have a little bit of greens, a little bit of reds, a little bit of something there, a little bit something here, maybe a little darker area here, and maybe I just push it like so. So it's not continuous, but broken. There's something right here, and it's pushing this way. Cool, and this should be here a a little bit. Like so, pushing this diagonal right here. So this could go maybe a little lower even. Yep. And it's getting a little bit of, it's kind of a dipped in. Okay, cool. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's just suddenly out of nowhere, I'm starting to seeing certain shapes that would help, and some of them that are breaking that illusion that I'm trying to create. Maybe this could be straight instead of curved. So it's kind of, it tricks my eye of what it actually is. Bad Painting Friday. It's always, fun. And then if this is this way, maybe I need a little bit more of a definition here. Okay, I would put it this way, maybe here. Okay, so I have this, I have that. I need a little bit of a perspective to see what's happening. Okay, there's oh wow, I didn't even realize how strong that sun is right there. Let me then change the settings again, so you can see it a little better. Values. And well, because it's about, the sun is about to just go away. Looking from a distance. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop myself right here because the sun is about to just disappear. I'm going to continue working on this because I like certain things. There are parts that I am absolutely unhappy with, 100%, but I can right now start working into this with my charcoal and start defining certain shapes and be a little bit more like concrete. But this is not dry yet, so I'm not going to push it as much. But I'm going to start working with this. And the most important part for me with the Bad Painting Friday was that I just threw some pigments around. I played with some shapes. I still have some visual in my head, but I know that some of the parts that looked in my head or in my mind correctly are not really suitable for this kind of a setup. I have, different sketches, different ideas, because it was like I said, I was working on it. There are some small ones. There are some that I have from the train. I have some that I have with oil. So I'm going to be working on these together. Maybe I should do like a little bit more of the small ones, because I have more of these boards that I gessoed and prepared. I don't like the shape of the ground. Maybe it could be completely dissolved. I don't know. I kind of like the one that I did on my watercolor sketch in a train, where because the colors are way more subtle, and I think these looks way better. So I should think of and these colors are way more. I'm just talking about it. I'm just just so you see what I'm talking about. It's a little bit more. It is a little bit more. it's different, but it's a watercolor. So I was playing with the watercolor. I don't know if it shows on the camera the difference, but I can see it, and that's something that you should think about. That for me especially, painting is about seeing it in person, and this could be, you know, cameras see it differently, and I'm using different cameras, and these are really cheap, you know, inexpensive cameras. So you know, it's not really getting that full dynamic range, and you know, the lenses are not perfect. It's all kind of stuff that goes into producing a great stream. This is not about, you know, great entertainment stream. This is more about exploring possibilities. So I'm going to continue working on it. So should you. And hopefully I'll all see you soon. So take care, be safe, bye. Well, I forgot one thing. I forgot one thing to mention, that as I'm looking at it right now, and you saw me going back and forth, not only that I'm going back and forth, that I'm, you know, trying to see it smaller, and you know, my eyes are closer. Another thing that I didn't mention is that I like to move it around. And when I say move it around, I mean put it upside down and see whether or not it works this way. I'm sorry that I jumped back into into that video, but there was a kind of a, you know, quick moment, and I can tell immediately right now that this is way too big, pushing it that way, and I need to balance it here. So maybe it should be little thinner. So I'm making immediately a mental notes that maybe it should be maybe even further here, but this way, right? So this is about that, like, really important decision making or decision making. It's not about decision making. It's about kind of suppressing that ego that every one of us probably have, but mine really holding me back with trying to show everybody how good of a draftsman I am, or how good I can paint, or, you know, some other stuff that it's kind of dwelling inside, deep inside. So instead of that, I'm focusing strictly on shape and kind of that creative process, because I'm pretty sure that, what happened to me multiple times is that I was trying to cover mistakes in composition, mistakes in designing image by adding more and more detail and more information there. And I saw paintings of Turner, or analyzed rather, because I saw them before, but I was not really looking at them from the point of view of how can I improve my work. And that's something that kind of shifted and changed. I don't know what happened. Maybe I've reached a certain understanding of what I want to do with painting, and I started to look for a certain result. And these guys really gave me the feeling of that they have the result that I'm looking for. And specifically, I'm talking about, of course, Rembrandt and Turner and Andrew Wyatt. So what I'm trying to say is that the information does not need to be complex in order to have a really strong impact. And thinking always in these terms of something specific, like that's a cup, that's a brush, that's a charcoal pencil, those are scissors, that's the easel, that's canvas, and so on and so forth. It almost feels like it's a little too what's the word that I'm looking for? Well, it's too specific, but it's kind of it's keeping me constrained. I don't know. I have to come up with that. I have to really think of what I'm going to say. Perhaps I should prepare that, because these thoughts are just randomly popping up into my head and just kind of trying to get out without me knowing specifically what the end of the sentence is going to be. But it's fun. It's that exploration. I tried and I failed in terms of final look or finished piece. But it's okay, because these are like you're kind of like a tinkering with the work. I'm experimenting right now with blues and greens and a little bit of yellows, because those are not really colors that I like that much. Green specifically, it's not my color. I prefer a little bit more muted colors and shift it towards the blue. And I know that that's their limitation, so I should explore them more. And I'm looking forward to work on that a little bit more. And I have a bunch of other ones. So right now, it's the official finish. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget to create and work on your own projects, because that's what this is about. And this kind of a shared online atelier space, it's more of a bouncing these ideas off of each other. And that's what that creative discourse it's about. So yeah, I'm gonna be here soon, hopefully, maybe even tomorrow, and I'll see you there. So the second time, for the second time, and for sure, right now, I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.